Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ and Sons and our new Planet Coaster series here in Thrillville. As we have got a heck of an episode, a lot of work done. It may not seem like it in the end, but it is a pretty good chunk of work completed in this episode. So we do a lot of the kind of, as you can notice, some of the building around the ride. Now, you'll also notice that we have got a different color scheme going. Why is that, you ask? Well, we're going with a different theory on this roller coaster. And I'm not really sure what theory I was going with before, but at least as far as a theme and a name, and not really a theme, but at least a name, we are going to be going with the name of Chaos. Where did we get that name from, you might ask? Well, the one and only Professor Chaos himself. Those of you who are fans of the South Park know that Butters has got himself another personality, his evil character, his evil side, known as Professor Chaos. That's where we are getting this from. So that's why you'll see the color scheme change from the blue. And I tried to say foil silver, at least for the post. I think that turned out pretty decent. Anybody knows Butters wears a blue shirt, and Professor Chaos has got a foil headband, a cape, and some foil gloves. Butters pretty innovative. So, what are we building with this ride? There's not really a specific kind of theme to it. You'll see different building types. Right here, we're going with our wooden portion of a building, which is going to be it's going to be a little cross section through the loop, and in fact you saw it at the beginning there as we gave the introduction to the video. This is what we build in place to kind of add in a couple head chopper moments, and that's really what we wanted to put in here, was primarily some head chopper moments, some things to kind of scare you as you go outside of just the ride trying to scare the hell out of you. Add in some of these additional elements. We are going to add in water elements. We're probably going to have some steam, some fire. You won't see a whole lot of that going in this episode. That might be done next episode or off camera. We do build this thing live on Twitch. The Twitch is Champ and Sons. I'll try to post it down in the description of the video if I remember. And I say if I remember because I forgot to last time. So that's what we're going to go with. We do live stream this on Twitch generally every Saturday. Is when I try. There's not a consistent time. Normally it's earlier in the day, but today I had my kid at a basketball tournament. So we did it this evening and just finished up probably about 15-20 minutes ago. That's why when we came on with this one, so this voiceover is being done on Saturday night. So it's one of those things, as long as we have time for it, we're going to get it knocked out and hammered in. That's all I can really promise y'all with it. I will try to do it every single weekend though. So just keep a watch for that. And then if you like the series and you can't join on Twitch, not a problem. I do come back and repost the videos here. I do record them and so forth. Now that did get paused up there. We do have multiple block sections in here. Okay. That did get paused up there, not because the block sections are off. They're actually very well timed. It's just that very first run through without people on it in the testing phase, you do hit a slight little block section pause. Don't worry. It's not anything that actually affects the ride. Everything else times out beautifully after the initial start of the ride. Okay. To build this going through with the wood, I could have probably gone with roof pieces. As I say that as I'm thinking about it now. It did not cross my mind beforehand, so don't ask. But I'm saying probably could have done it before with roof pieces as I watch this back. But I did go with the fence pieces. I actually like how that looks. It gives you that boarded look without having to use those single pieces of wood. And it pretty much covers everything that we need it to. It is recolorable. It's set to a darker tone than the way it appears here. But I still think it turned out pretty dang good for a wooden little crossover thing. Is it going to be perfect? No. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be super detailed. it's going to be detailed enough. And I think that and alone in of itself is chaotic. Don't know why I said it like that, but felt the need. So this is the first one that we're going with. We got a lot of different elements going through. Y'all saw all the concrete laid out. Just think of that as a foundation, essentially, for the size of these buildings. That's really what they were laid out for. So we have this first little loop through. We're going to close this off. Not too much beyond kind of building out some of the wooden buildings here. And I mean, these aren't going to be like, housing kind of buildings. Yeah, I'm probably going to put some windows. I'm going to put some crazy detailing on them. But in general, you're not going to see too much on them because you really wouldn't. I mean, at this stage, you're going down a roller coaster at about 65, 70 miles per hour. You're not going to notice things sitting there going, oh, well, that's pretty well themed out. Well done, Bettis. If it's not something that you're actually, I guess you could say, semi-interacting with. By that, I just mean, going through. If you're going through a building, you're going to notice, well, that's just a plain building. But if once you're going through the loop, you're just saying, please don't chop my head off because that is incredibly close. And you're past the loop and you're done. Right? You're not going to go, man, did you see the windows on that building? That looked really dang good the way they had them things highlighted. You're just not going to do that. And I say that because I've never done it. If you are someone who does that, God bless you. More power to you. It's just not me. Right? So we're finishing up some of this building here, just the basic outline of it. I will be doing a lot of stuff off camera, essentially, some of the finer detailing work. Once again, like I said, I build this primarily on live stream, and seeing some of the detailing, it just gets kind of mind-boggling, right? Planet Coaster, can do so much stuff with it that it just becomes kind of a shocker at the amount you're actually able to do. I thought about making this building here coming under the zero-G roll, the Butters blue. But I figured with the track, that's blue enough, essentially, right? And that is enough blue that there's not really any more needed. So we're building it up here. And one of the biggest reasons why I couldn't go too far out on this one is mainly, you see how the zero-G roll comes in tighter than the block break section. So I wanted it to be one building, but I had to kind of watch out where I spread things out at. You know what I mean? So that's just one of the things that we did there, and being careful with. And decided with this building that in the block break section, I'm going to make that not a tunnel. I hate to say tunnel. But it is going to be enclosed. And here I'm just toying with how wide is this thing going to be. Because in parts, it's going to come through, and that banking right at the end of the block break section is kind of a pain in the ass, because that works. So looking at that size, that's actually fine with what we got right there. That fits. As it comes to the end, you notice we start chopping off the wheels, and we're going to chop off people's arms. So that was kind of a no-go kind of segment. So it's just really trying to fill in some of these additional areas here, to try to make it look a little bit more solid, I guess you could say. And so just finishing up, kind of getting the outline of these buildings. Like I said, I don't go with too much detail. In reality, it's not a water ride. If we were talking about doing a log flume, yeah, I'm going to go with a lot more detail in that sense. But decided not to. Now there, it was going to be a concrete foundation, and was going to just put a couple buildings over it, basically make a little tunnel section. Now, if anybody who is a fan of South Park, you've seen enough episodes, one time where Butters was trying to pull off destroying the world by flooding the world. So he went in his backyard, turned on his hose, and just kind of sat there, waited for the world to flood. That's what that water kind of symbolized there. I tested it out before, but kind of messed up with putting the water in and our little concrete foundation. However, here it actually works. I was surprised by it. I found that out on live stream. It kind of shocked me there. And so in the land that we did raise up, that is going to become basically a rock wall kind of waterfall that goes down, trickles down into the pool essentially. And at some point I might end up putting those little splash things and time it out with the ride as the coaster car comes into the water. on one side, timeout splashing on one side, and then on the other side, right? But here I'm just testing out what to do with the actual waterfall pieces, and I hate how it's so off kilter. It sticks out so far, and I understand why they did that, so you can sink it back in, but still it kind of messes with me. It takes me a while. I finally figured it out off camera, but that is going to become a rock waterfall into the pool, inspired by the one and only Butters himself. The rest of these buildings really is just to kind of add some surprise type of elements, some chaotic kind of things. Chaotic, and I guess it's not totally chaotic, but I do like how it turns out. And if you think about it, we got the plaster wall, we got wood walls, we got brick walls, we got pretty much a mix of just about everything. So there's not one solid kind of theme. It is all kind of out there in the ether as far as keeping it mixed up in terms of what it is that we are doing, as far as the theming of this ride goes. Okay, so that's what we're going to spend a lot of time here kind of messing around with these buildings and getting them kind of set out, mapped out, and I'll have to close them down a little later in the episode to make it, one, fit the ride, two, so no one's getting their head chopped off or anything like that. I'll probably go through and do some finer detailing off camera. I might wait till the next live stream to do that. I'm not too certain though, because I do kind of want to get through the part. You know, I've done 3 live streams and I've gotten the entrance and the one coaster built, and then what you're seeing here. Now, Planet Coaster takes a grip to do anyways, so I'm going to test it out in the next episode that I do live stream on Twitch. Probably just putting in some of the I think going in and doing some detailing work around and doing some of the animatronic type stuff in here in the next episode. So we'll kind of work that out and figure out if that's something that we want to look at, or I might just do that stuff off camera in the future, and then let's get the big builds done on Twitch on camera, and so y'all can also have them here to see, so you're seeing more stuff get built outside of the finer detail stuff, which I'm not that good at to begin with. Now, as you notice from the intro to this video, you will get another POV ride with all the buildings done on the ride, of all the buildings being done. You will get a POV ride with that having been completed. It is something that I think does actually look pretty dang good going through. So we will work on making sure that this thing is all dressed out and good to go by the time we get ready for the next episode to do some of that finer detailing work. We are eventually going to get to the surrounding portions of the ride and look at possibly opening it in the next couple episodes. The park, that is. Like I said, we'll have to see how some things go. But as we get to that portion and get into that, like I said, stay tuned for the POV. It's coming up in about 3 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And so here, like I said, we're just finishing stuff up. We're going to get it all knocked out, at least covering the buildings and so forth like that, and kind of getting everything taken care of so we don't have any big open gaps left in this building. And if y'all have an idea of anything you want to see go in that I haven't covered yet here in this episode, so any of the other empty space that's out there, let me know down in comments. If you think there's a better ride name than Chaos, by all means, let me know in the comments as well. I'm open to all suggestions. All right, I like to tell my family and I tell my kids I'm right all the time, but when it comes to Planet Coaster, I'm generally wrong 99% of the time on stuff. So don't be afraid. Put that down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. And let me know if you want to see the detailing of the ride. All right, let me know if that's something you're interested in seeing. If it is, we'll go ahead and put that into the next Twitch. And then I'll get the next video put out after that, in which we get to have all the detailing work done. So put that down in the comments, guys. I'm going to let it off here. I do want to remind y'all to hit that subscribe button if you have not hit it already. And definitely give us a thumbs up if you did like today's video. and if you're excited about this series and the different coasters that we're going to build here. And I will go ahead and let y'all go here about another minute and 15 seconds before we get to the POV. So I will see y'all in the next episode, everybody. So as always, stay safe, and well, y'all know how it goes from here, right? Later, y'all.